Okay, what we have here is some black granite, and this has been broken on purpose to show you how it can be repaired. Now, and it goes right inside the crack. So what you're able to do here, and what I've done already, is clean this with acetone, and that's removed all the dirt and dust and everything. And next, what you want to do is put it together the way it will actually be put together. So you can see that's, if you even look at the reflection, that's like a perfect, put together. In fact, here's a crack over here, and it almost looks the same as the crack. And that crack was just put there when I broke it on purpose. Now, I also chipped out a little piece right here, because usually when it breaks, you're missing a little bit of chips here or there. And what you want to do is just make sure it's level across here. You shouldn't be able to feel very much, if anything, across there with your nail or with a razor blade. And this is the razor blade we usually use for fixing this up, and you can go right across there. And that means it's really close together. Next, I take the glue, and again, I dab it again with some acetone. I have some on this rag just to make sure I get all the dust out of there, okay? And this is the glue. Now, I just put it right so that it's actually going to go into the okay, this glue is a little cut up. I'm going to fix that in a second. Little pin here. They use these on wall boards. And I'm sticking that in here to free up a hole in this. Oh, shoot. It's really maybe time for a new top for this glue. Okay, there it is. So I got that in there, and so now the glue is open. Okay. Now, it's okay to get more than you need on there. Don't worry about that. You'll be able to remove it. In fact, you won't be able to get as much as you want because it actually goes into the crack, and that's good because you want it to. It's going to go all the way through to the bottom. Okay, so be really generous with the glue. Let it go in there, and if it doesn't puddle on the surface, that means it's going in the crack. Now, the other thing is also for this demonstration, doesn't matter, but I would put some paper under where this is being fixed, put it underneath here, and the reason for that is, you know, the glue will stick this granite to whatever you have it on. So if you have some paper there, it'll stick it to the paper, which is okay. So we'll keep doing that, and you start seeing it puddling on the surface. It's not going to go in any. Now don't spray it on right. Be about 12, 14 inches away. The spray is going on there, but you don't want it so heavy that it crystallizes it too quickly, because when it does that, it turns white, and for black granite, you don't want that. Now, I'm also going to show you, this is a crack over here, and you can see the crack kind of turns white, and in black that happens, and that's one of the reasons it's difficult to get rid of cracks in black. So here, what I'm going to do is put some of this glue on this crack and show you how it actually helps it disappear, because even later when we fix it, and you're going to see this side is going to remain, but this side I'm putting this on. Now, it doesn't go very deep in there, and it may not stick that well, but we'll see. It definitely will improve it. And then I'm just spraying again on that other side to show you that fix, okay? Now, you can already see that where it was broken, the crack has kind of disappeared, like you don't see it. And the reason is, you know, black is actually transparent. It's not or translucent. It's not an opaque color. So if you have a thin piece of black granite, you can actually see through it. And so when this fills in that gap, it actually takes the color of the black and brings it through. And that's why it disappears. Now, very simply, after it hardens, now, once it hardens, see, this is actually, you know, the glue didn't go all the way through. What I would do in this case, especially if you have a complete break and you want to make sure that it's good, you could actually turn this over, turn your slab over, and put some glue on that side too, just to make sure it goes all the way through, you know. So now that it's already glued, nothing's going to happen when you do this. But, you know, it can't hurt, that's for sure. Okay, so then. Now here, of course, it doesn't matter what it looks like, so you can put a lot of accelerant. You just want it to harden. Okay, so now turn it back over, and this is the side we're going to finish. And the way you do it is you put the blade 90 degrees to the surface, and you go across the cut. So the break is actually, this is the way it was before, the break is actually from here to here, so I follow the blade that way, okay? That way it doesn't go below the surface. And I just go back and forth like this, and you see the way there's little shavings? That's fine. And what you want to do is you want to get it all the way to when only the crack has the glue in it, or the break, not the rest of it. So it's almost there. You can kind of see in a reflection where the glue is. There's a bunch of it there. And I'm not going to do the whole thing because I kind of want to let you see the different steps, okay? You can use more than one blade. They're very cheap. Now, once you do this, now you can see where the glue filled in here, okay? It doesn't go away. And I want to do this over here because there's a spot. Remember, there was a chip in there, and I want to show you how to finish the chip too. So it requires more than one coat usually because it sinks in the first time. And this is that crack, remember? Now you can see how that crack looks and how it looks over here. It's much better. It makes it disappear. And, you know, one coat isn't always enough. In this case, I'm just doing one coat because this is going to be the least amount that you do. Now you can see it actually filled in that gap over there. Now, if you look at it on the reflection, you can see the crack, okay? But and now also you can see it because it's slightly different in color. Now this part was not done. This was done. This was a crack, not a break. And you can see it's almost disappeared. Even in reflection, you can't even see it. So now the break has a little bit more in there. And there's still another step after this that you have to do. Now probably this chip over here, you probably need to fill that again. But let's just see how it looks, okay? Now I've already run this this buffing wheel on a polishing compound. It's a special one we give you, and I don't know where else you can get it, but this one's tested and it works fine. Some polishing compounds, you should know, can take away the shine of the granite, and you don't want to do that. So there are a lot of them out there that are meant to polish something else, and believe it or not, this shine is usually on black especially is very high, and it's easy to remove some of it. So you have to make sure the polishing compound only works on the plastic. Okay. So, okay, now you see, now that it's been polished, how the line even disappears. And in the reflection, you can see even a tiny bit of the polish is a little different. And I told you, it's just black is one of the most difficult colors. Now, in the reflection, you can still see a little fissure, but you can actually see where you see? It's almost gone. And you can see a little fissure in the reflection. And that's where the chip is. You can see it's almost disappeared. Another coat and it will disappear. But it's very, very hard to see, you know. And looking at it, very hard to see. Now you can see the other areas where there's a crack and where it hasn't been finished yet over here. But the part that was done, you can't see it. And if you put black wax over that, it really disappears. So I'll do that too, just to show you that that helps a lot. And here's the area. Gonna put some black wax over there. It's like car wax, you know. Now, black wax goes off with steel wool. That's the big difference. No. Very good. The one thing the black wax doesn't work on is the plastic. It only works on the granite. So I find that this works better on the plastic, and so it actually makes it hide better. Now I have another one. Let me try it. Okay, I'm going to take some that acetone cloth and clean up here. And you can see it's actually very hard to see. Very hard to see. Now the other areas, of course, you can see them very well. And here, where the scratch was, or the crack, you can't see it at all, because that was very close together, just like a line. So the closer you can get this together, the better. And don't worry about chips, because those can be filled in and fixed. This is something you can try to do. Sometimes it makes it look just like, almost like new. You know, there are times, sometimes you install granite and later on you get a little fissure or something. It's not a break, but it's a fissure. And this is a way to fix that without incurring the cost of, you know, a whole new piece of granite. Thanks.